Please gather round, sing along, listen for a while. Well, now we need to get into spooky mode, right? Okay, so let's put on our vampire teeth. Let's put on our spooky eyes. And I want you to practice singing with me. Can you try that with me? I especially want to see our boys doing that. Because here's the rule, if you don't sing, you have to come up on the stage and do a solo. Okay? All right, we don't want to do that, right? Everybody's going to sing. Okay, you know what to do. And as we come in the song, we are going to do it. We've got some friends coming down the path, so come and join us for story time. Glad you're here today. There was an old woman, all skin and bones. Now we say the ooh. One night she thought she'd take a walk. She walked down to the old graveyard. She saw the bones all scattered about. She opened the gate and she went in. She went to the closet to get a broom. She opened the door and it's a spooky dooky time, and so we've been celebrating. Boys, did you have a costume parade at your school yesterday? Yes, wasn't that fun? I was at a school yesterday and the principal and everybody was all dressed up.
My brother did get the
Yeah? Well, we're glad that you came in your costume today because, you know, we have to get a lot of use out of our costumes. We only wear them for a couple of hours. We need to wear them like for the whole week, right? All right. Well, today we have a lineup of stories. Fun stories to tell. I am going to start off with one, and then the other tellers will be following. Now, in this story, there's a part for all of the audience, and we have to say, when I say it, who's that a-knockin'? Who? Let's practice it right now. Who's that a-knockin'? The name of this story is called The Old Conjure Wives. On a dark night, right before Halloween, the moon came up in the sky. And it was a perfect night for the conjure wives to gather, for every year on Halloween Eve, they gathered to make their stews and their brews.
Oh, we're so glad to be gathered together. We miss one another the rest of the year, but tonight is our night. Let's start making our brew. And each of the conjure wives brought things to put into the pot. And they made some dough as well. Perhaps some spider eyes, perhaps some toes of creatures that go in the night. What could be in this brew that they made? Let your own imagination come up with your ingredients. But as the conjure wives were stewing the brew pot, and tending to the dough that was frying in a pan, there came a knocking sound. And they all called out. Are you ready to call out with me? Who's that a-knockin'? Who? Who? But the voice didn't say nothing. And the knockin' just kept on. And the conjure wives called out again. Who's that a-knockin'? Who? Who? But the voice didn't say nothing, and the knocking kept on. And the conjure wives said, "We's a-cookin' for ourselves. Who'll cook for you? Who'll cook for you?" And the knocking kept on. And the conjure wives called out again. Who's that a-knockin'? Who? Well, the conjure wives, they didn't get worried because they were the conjure wives. Nothing scared them. But soon the knocking stopped, and the voice said, "I's a-looking for some food. Who will give me some food this night?" And the conjure wives said, "We don't have any food for you. Go along, do." But their own pot was bubbling over, and they ladled it and enjoyed it for themselves. And the voice called out, "Who'll cook for you? Who? Who?" The old conjure wives got a little bit nervous because they noticed the dough on the fry pan started to ooze out over the edge of the fry pan. It oozed out onto the stove, and their eyes got bigger and bigger as they watched the dough growing and, like fermentation, just getting bigger and bubbling and oozing over. Now the dough came on to the floor, and the conjure wives had to lift up their feet and put it on a rung of the chair. "Who's cook for you? Who?" said the voice outside, and the dough bubbled up onto the chair so that the conjure wives had to put their feet right on the chair, and they were perched on the edge of the chair. And the dough kept rising and rising and moving the conjure wives right up to the ceiling. And then the conjure wives put out their arms and discovered they now had feathers, and their arms were transformed into wings. They grew beaks upon their face, and their eyes were wide and large. And the knocking started one more time. And they screeched, "Who's that a-knocking? Who? Who? Who?" And the voice said, "Fly out the window, do. There's no more house for you." And the conjure wives flapped their wings, and they flew out of the open window out into the woods. And you know, they existed as conjure owls for all the year until Halloween Eve, and that's when they are transformed into the conjure wives, and they mix their spells until they're transformed into owls again on Halloween night. Fly out the window, do. There is no more house for you. And that is the story of the Conjure Wise. And now I invite Drew Sappington to come on up. And there is a ramp over here for the storytellers unless you prefer to jump up on the stage. Drew is an author here in St. Augustine and a storyteller, a teacher, an educator. So let's welcome Drew. And you can either hold the microphone if you wish, and that way you have more, or leave it on the seat.